A short reflection on that gospel reading from Mark. The story that comes at the end of his first chapter, full of stories at breakneck speed, of miracles, exorcisms, crowds bringing their sick for healing. Mark here finally slows down his first chapter with this touching story of an encounter with a leper. We know where we are with this story, don't we? Touching's the crucial word here, or rather, not touching. The man's a leper, and lepers must self-isolate. They're unclean and not to be touched, nor should you touch anything that they've touched. Lepers are in permanent lockdown and total self-isolation. That was the law. That's why we know where we are with this story. Mark slows down the pace of those early days of Jesus' ministry in Galilee, those heady, exciting, miraculous days. And we have to stop as the leper kneels and asks for help from the only person who's prepared to come near him. No PPE, no face mask, no social distancing. If you are willing, make me clean, he says on his knees. Clean. The stone is only 5 verses long, but the word clean is used 4 times. The leper is unclean. The COVID victim is unclean, so don't touch. It's still the law. The leper kneels, begs to be cleansed. Jesus touches him and he's clean. But now he must go and prove it quietly. And of course it can't be kept quiet, much as Jesus wanted it. The crowds, the publicity, the pressure, the people's needs press on him, and the more the crowds gather, the less comfort and healing he can bring. Hence his anger when at every turn he finds demons, disease and sickness and evil spirits, and the crowds gathering to see the show. We are finding out what it means to be isolated and untouchable. We want to be clean and vaccinated. We want to be loved again. We want to find brave souls who are willing to touch the untouchables, do battle with the demons, and answer our prayers when we kneel before him. An American friend recently sent me a clip of a visit of the then just Senator Joe Biden when he made a trip to Parkland School in Florida. There'd been a dreadful shooting. Many students were killed, as were some of the staff, including the head of physical education, leaving a Down syndrome son, Corey, and his mother to cope with the tragedy. Biden comes and talks to some of the bereaved and turns to move on in his visit. And a boy breaks away from his mother and runs to the senator. It's young Corey. Biden turns, sees the boy, hugs him, kisses his forehead, and then gently explains that he understands the boy's grief because he too has lost a wife and a child in a dreadful accident. And the boy and Biden become friends in shared grief, although Corey's friend is now his president as well. It's the story from Mark's Gospel that we read today, rewritten for a time of pandemic and deep unrest. But you don't have to be a president to love your neighbour as yourself and touch the lives of the untouchable. You don't have to be a saint to overcome the demons of sickness and suffering and grief. All you have to do is kneel and ask to be made clean again. Amen.